Hello everybody and welcome to Shauncast. This is your podcast in a Scottish accent. My name is Shaun and I am your host. I am a vlogger from Edinburgh in Scotland. And in today's episode, it is a Halloween special. Yeah, it's the 31st of October 2018 and it is Halloween, the most spooky and scary night of the year. And in Scotland, it's quite a big, important celebration for us. We love to tell Halloween stories. We love to tell ghost stories. So I thought in today's episode, that's exactly what I would do. I'm going to tell you guys a ghost story that relates to me, something that's quite personal. I don't know if I really believe in ghosts or not. It's something that I've always thought about, but I'm definitely open to the idea. Ghosts and the paranormal, spiritual activity. I think there's every possibility it could be something in it, whether it's just energy or whatever it is, I don't know. But I'm going to talk to you about a very personal, paranormal kind of experience right here on today's podcast. And thank you very much for joining in, everybody. This podcast is coming to you on various different platforms. You can watch it on YouTube. It is available on the Apple podcasting platform. Most people end up listening to this podcast on the Apple podcast application, which is a great place to listen. But you can also listen as well on Spotify as well. If you're on Spotify, my podcast is there. And as well, if you are on an Android device, you can find it on the Google Play Store. I believe that's what it's called. I don't have Android, so I don't know exactly. Just search for Shauncast, no matter where you want to listen to this podcast or watch it on YouTube as well. Just search Shauncast. Anyway, let's get to it, my haunted ghost story. I've had actually quite a lot of paranormal experiences, stuff that I can't explain, right? But one was an experience that didn't happen one time. It happened many times over the period of about 2 or 3 years. It hasn't happened to me for a long time, but something was happening to me over and over again, right? I've always been a bit of a funny sleeper. I used to sleepwalk, and I've always had this thing where I have seen things at night when I wake up. And there's obviously a lot of reasons why that could be. There are just people who see things when they wake up, and it is called sleep hallucinations. It's kind of a period in between sleeping and being awake. But when it happens to me, I wake up, right? I am fully conscious, usually in the pitch black, and I see something that isn't there, or is it? Right? It's something that I see that I am conscious of. I am awake, right? That is the thing. It is this period when you wake up, but you're not fully there with your senses and you might start to see things. It's called sleep hallucination. It is spooky, it's creepy, but it's something that happens to some people and it freaks me the hell out. I've had a lot of sleep hallucination experience over the years. One of the most notable ones was I was sleeping in my bed, Tekka was next to me, and I felt water coming onto my head. So I woke up and I'm like, shit, there's actually a waterfall coming down the wall. I could see this waterfall pouring down the wall behind me, and the wall had transformed itself into like the cliff face underneath a waterfall. It was just coming down onto me. And then I woke Tech up, I shook her, I said, look at the water. And this is what always happens. She woke up and turned the light on and it wasn't there. And I was literally like feeling like, where did this waterfall go? And like it drove me insane that just disappeared. Again, it is sleep hallucination. And I've had them throughout my life. But there is a paranormal side to that as well, because something that has creeped me out over the years, and it happened over 2 or 3 years. It's not come to me for a long time. Hopefully it won't again tonight on Halloween, for example. I have had these sleep hallucinations where I've woken up because somebody has opened my bedroom door, right? Has opened my bedroom door just a little bit and has then peered through the door, peered through the crack in the door, and has looked at me and watched me. It must have happened about 10 or 12 times, this very same thing. And there was just 3 different types of figures that I saw when this happened, right? The door would open, the person would look at me through the crack, and it was an old lady. I don't know how many times this old lady came to me in this sleep hallucination, but it must have been like half a dozen times. The door was open and she was looking through, with her head actually jammed through the crack and looking at me. And honestly, like, I wake up and I'm convinced it's there in front of me. That is what's happening. Like, I'm awake, I'm conscious. So it should be absolutely made clear that sleep hallucination isn't something that happens in a dream, because a dream is when you're actually sleeping, your eyes are closed, and you're not moving, right? You're in your bed sleeping. Sleep hallucination is when you actually wake up and you get up out of bed necessarily and you're seeing something. That is what was happening to me. And it happened, as I say, a dozen times. This person opening the door of my bedroom and looking at me. All the times that happened, it totally freaked the hell out. Like, ran to the wall, switched the light on, woke Tech up, and it's like, I just saw that. That just happened. And of course, when I turn the light on and there's nothing there, the door has been open, but there's never been anything there. The last time it happened to me, the very last time, it was a skeleton that looked at me, right? And this is the only time this figure has come to me. It was actually a skeleton, or a giant skull, right? This skeleton skull looking at me through the door. But the odd thing about this skeleton skull was the bone structure was made of a really bright metallic colour, almost like silver. And there was like light shining through it, holes of the eyes and the mouth and stuff. And it was looking at me through the door, and I woke up and there was like nothing there again. But like, these things freak me out. So that has definitely been a big paranormal theme experience that I've had over and over again. A recurring thing of somebody opening my bedroom door and looking at me. Like watching me, you know? I can't explain it. I don't know what it was. Sleep hallucination, it could just be something logical. Sleep hallucination logically could be caused by things like, for example, not breathing properly and the oxygen not circulating within your body as you sleep. But I don't know, who knows? I would love to know your experiences, guys. Maybe you guys know something about that. Maybe you've experienced something similar. I would love to know in the comments down below. So please let me know your experiences. I would really value knowing about anybody who's had something similar happen to them. It might put me at ease a little bit about this. But that is one of my paranormal experiences, a kind of theme that happened, as I say, over a dozen times. And this thing, especially this old lady who appeared through the door, it followed me, right? Because it first happened to me when I lived in London. Happened about 2 or 3 times in London. It then followed me to Edinburgh. It happened a few times in Edinburgh. And it then followed me to Brazil. It happened here a couple of times as well. I'm actually currently in Brazil right now, and I'm going to be staying here for the next few months, but I'll tell you about that in a future episode. So that is my paranormal experience. I've got a few other different paranormal experiences that are not related to that I'll tell you about in future. Spooky stuff. It scared the living shit out of me, basically. So that was it, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Am I haunted? Have I been haunted? Let me know. Get in touch, either on social media or on the comments of this post. But listen, I thought I would finish today's episode on a bit of a more light-hearted note. Somebody shared a story on Twitter, right? It was written in the New York Post, and the headline just grabbed me immediately in relation to Halloween, and I thought I had to read this. Absolutely. Woman who had sex with 20 ghosts is now engaged to a spirit. What a headline. I mean, that is just a clickable story, right? So I'm going to go in now and just discuss with you the story, because it's absolutely bizarre. I don't think I've ever quite read anything like this. I mean, there's one thing believing in ghosts, right? Which, as I said to you guys, I'm on the fence about. There is definitely one thing believing in it, and there's definitely another thing in having intimate relations with a poltergeist. That is absolutely bizarre. So the story starts. A British woman has claimed she has slept with at least 20 ghosts and now says she's engaged to a poltergeist. I mean, I don't really know where to start with this story, but I thought I would tell it to you because, like, it's a bizarre Halloween tale. The girl's called Amethyst Realm, and she told this story on ITV this morning, some time ago now, but this is a story that keeps coming back. And she actually cheated on her real-life fiancé with a ghost. That's how she starts this off. And since then, she's gone on to have supernatural affairs, allegedly, with at least 20 paranormal beings, says the New York Post. I mean, this is just absolutely bizarre. I shouldn't mock, because she has finally found true love with a ghost. I mean, yeah, 20 ghosts is quite a busy period, I would say. But it seems like she's finally settled down. She's found the one. And she says that the ghost has actually asked her to get married. Presumably didn't actually get down on one knee, but nonetheless, they're engaged. There you go. Amethyst says she met her soulmate on a trip to Australia. Wow. Australia, is that the hotbed of ghost activities for relationships? And the ceremony, the wedding ceremony between Amethyst and the ghost, is going to be a pagan ceremony. Of course it is. This is where things get absolutely nuts, right? The couple have already had sex on a plane back from Australia. And in the quote, this is her quote to the newspaper, it says, "I was happy and excited, so excited that we had to do something about it. So we headed to the plane loo, and well, now I am a member of the Mile High Club." Well, there you go. That is absolutely bizarre. The story of the night in terms of Halloween for me. And I thought I just had to share that with you. I had to share it. I saw this on Twitter and I had to talk about it with somebody because it's too bizarre. And I'd love to know your thoughts. And actually, a few people did reply to me on the Twitter thread after I posted about it. Laiz says, "Okay,
which is Portuguese for "What the hell is this?" Ham777 says, quite wittingly, "They must have put the willies up her." I'll give it to you, Ham. That was a brilliant comment. But I just don't know where to go from there, to be honest. Hilarious. Heather says, "This was just bizarre. Watching her, she does seem to portray a woman in love, though." I mean, listen, at the end of the day, who am I to judge? I've just told you guys about a paranormal experience that I've had, right? And there's a lot of people out there who probably think it is totally nuts. And I must be nuts to share that experience. But there you go. So who am I to criticise this woman who has finally found the true one? Anyway, guys, listen, thank you very much for listening to this episode of the podcast. I really appreciate you being here. I'd be very grateful if you consider supporting this content through Patreon, patreon.com/ShaunVlog, and check out some of the latest vlogs I've also done as well on my various channels. There's my main vlogging channel, and now also Adventure Everything, where I do my travel stuff. Anyway, listen, that's it for now. This is a Halloween special podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you have a good night, morning, evening, afternoon, or whatever time of day it is, wherever you are in the world. Take care.